Namaste, everyone. My name is Kushagar Sharma, and I'm the Vice President of the Canadian Hindu Chamber of Commerce. I want to thank each and every one of us, each and every one of you that have taken the time out to join us today on this Friday for our special member event series number 4, called Wealth Planning and Strategies by Jigna Jani and Dharmesh Jani. Now, with our tradition of giving the first 5 minutes to a non-governmental organization or a charity, today's organization will be Hindu Food Bank. Hindu Food Bank is currently signing an MOU with Canadian Hindu Chamber of Commerce, and they are a food bank located in the Toronto region, catering to the local need of the community in Toronto. And in 2023, they have so far donated 15.5 tons of food to local food banks in Toronto. They do food drives twice a month. And if you're willing to donate, please reach out to hindufoodbank.com and you will find more details in regards to the good work they are doing. And you will see all different locations where you can drop off food. You can see it's all the way from Scarborough to Durham, Halton, Brampton, and even across to Montreal. They take a whole variety of food, from baby food all the way to pasta and even powdered milk. They're doing a lot of initiatives in regards to food donations. So they're doing fund donation, fundraising, and volunteering. They are a good organization doing a lot of work. And we are proud to have this organization that will be signing an MOU with Canadian Hindu Chamber of Commerce, and we support organizations like that. Unfortunately, they could not be with us today, but nevertheless, we do support initiatives like that, and we thank Hindu Food Bank for the work they are doing. Now, about today's main event. Today's main event is called Wealth Planning and Strategies. It is going to be hosted by Jigna Jani and Dharmesh Jani. Jigna ji is widely recognized for her honesty, professionalism, and outstanding client services in the fields of wealth management and risk management. With over 20 years of experience, she has provided financial solutions to businesses and families across several provinces in Canada. Jigna ji is the founder of Arth Financial Services, Gujarat Insurance Corporation, and Arth Wealth Solutions. She has received prestigious awards, including the Master Award and Elite Awards, and has consistently met the criteria of the $1 Million Round Table. Jigna has mentored numerous financial advisors and works closely with a team of professionals offering a holistic approach to financial planning. She also provides free reviews of investments, life insurance policies, and estate planning. Our other host is Dharmesh Jani ji. Dharmesh is a seasoned expert in wealth management and estate planning with over 27 years of experience in the financial services and insurance industry. His expertise spans 15 years of providing tailored financial solutions to professionals. Don't miss this opportunity to learn from these industry experts. So they're going to have a short presentation, and that will be followed by a question and answer. Now, for your question and answers, we encourage everybody to ask any questions that you may think will be relevant. And once you provide it in the chat box, Maharishi ji, our secretary, he will be taking up those questions. And, I want to give a quick shout out to some of our members of the Canadian Hindu Chamber of Commerce here that are joining today, some of our directors. So I can see Maharishi Jani ji, our secretary. We have Naresh Kumar Chavda ji, our president. And in the attendees, I can also see Amit Chaudhary ji joining us from representing the Bangladeshi Hindu community. He's a director doing a lot of great work with the Canadian Hindu Chamber of Commerce. I can see Bhadreshi. He's working very hard to get that Southwest chapter up. So just a couple members short, but he will get those up as well. So if you're interested, please reach out to Bhadreshi. I can see Dharmeshi. Dharmeshi is another one of our members, very active with the planning. I can see Rangaji joining all the way from Montreal, Quebec. and Thiruji as well. Thiruji is one of our directors from Scarborough, representing the Sri Lankan Tamil community, doing a lot great work within the Tamil community as well as with the Hindu Chamber of Commerce. And I also want to give a shout out to some of our members from British Columbia, our soon to be unveiled chapter. So I can see Dr. Pankaj Jain is joining us, and Dhruv Gupta ji as well. So thank you so much for joining us from the West Coast. We really appreciate that. And I can see Dr. Rajesh Bhatia ji is also here, our advisory board member. So thank you so much, Dr. Bhatia ji. So thank you so much for all of our directors, and thank you so much everyone else for joining. Now, without any further ado, I want to hand it over to Jigna ji and Dharmesh ji for their presentation, and then we will follow it by a short question and answer. Thank you so much, everyone.
Namaste and Jai Shri Krishna. Thank you, CHCC. Thank you, Kushagra Bhai, Rashmikant Bhai, Naresh Bhai, all attendees and committee members. First of all, disclaimer. The content and opinions of this presentation are for informational and educational purposes only, and do not constitute financial advice. Jigna, Jani, Dharmesh, Jani, Earth Wealth Solution, and Gujarat Insurance Corp are not providing any recommendations, advice, strategies, and are not responsible for actions taken by viewers or participants. Me and my husband Dharmesh are in wealth and estate planning practice since last 19 years. We are thankful to 1,500 plus families for their trust across 4 provinces. If you are wealthy or working on it, this presentation is for you. As a wealth planner, our primary goal is to work with you to create a wealth plan and find suitable strategies to grow and preserve your wealth. Today's agenda is wealth planning, concept, and wealth strategy. Please feel free to note down your questions for Q&A session at the end of presentation. Now I'm handing over to Dharmesh. Please, Dharmesh.
Hello, everyone. To explain the importance of wealth planning, let me share with you a story. When I was a child, our neighbor had a 1-bedroom house in India. It was enough space for them. Then the neighbor's father moved in with them. So our neighbor added another room and extended the house. When his children grew up, they needed more space for study. And our neighbor had a limited finance. So he thought he will need money for children's marriage and for his retirement. And he wanted to spend less on on construction. So he thought in his lifetime, he will only be able to build 1 room. So he built one very large room on 1st floor. After a few years, when his son married, he added 2nd room upstairs. There was no possibility to add 2nd washroom as it was not planned. So now imagine there is a 2-story home with only 1 kitchen and 1 washroom for a family of 9. So it was a lot of inconvenience. Later on, they wanted to sell the house, but because of poor planning, there were limited buyers. They end up selling that house at a much lower price. So this is the example that if you don't plan, if you don't see larger picture, you will have financial losses. So these are some of the components, financial decisions everybody take. And like my story, most people take these financial decisions by focusing only on need, only on one need, like building 1 room at a time. Now, due to lack of planning, maybe that there are some problems apart from that particular decision, like for the retirement plan or investments, they might not be tax efficient, or they might choose wrong investments. Many times in initial years of saving, they tend to lock their savings, meaning less capital available to achieve the growth. Also poor risk management decisions, and overall over the years, smaller wealth and smaller inheritance for children. So wealth plans are customized based on your goals, your personality, risk capacity, your industry, the way you have grown your wealth so far, tax laws, and your family dynamics too. It takes care of all applicable financial component to you. So financial planning is very important. And once you cross 2 million of net worth, cost of not planning is too high for future financial growth. And if you don't have a wealth plan, chances are you would have never asked yourself these 3 most important questions. So I'm going through these questions. First question, what is my wealth target after 10 years and lifetime? What is your goal? A 10 million of asset, 100 million of asset, 500 million of net worth, or maybe a $2 million of annual income? Have you really thought about it? Have you written it somewhere that this is my goal, this is my target, which I want to reach over the years? Have you shared this with your spouse or financial advisor or accountant? Your chances greatly improves when you write goals and share with your advisor. So this is the very, very important question. Second is, how am I going to achieve it? So once I have a target, how am I going to reach there? Have you thought about it? Third would be, who are the beneficiaries of my wealth? How much wealth is for me and my spouse? And what will be transferred to children? Answers of these questions will form a base of further planning. Once you know where you want to go, how you want to go, and why you want to go there, right? Now we will discuss few essential concerns to create a plan. So how assets should be owned? By which family member? Whether it should be owned individually or corporately. These basic questions will decide tax efficiencies of your investments. Is holding company a better structure or a trust? I remember 10 years back, I met someone who had 34 operating companies. It was total chaos. And it took 7 years to have everything transferred to a holding company. So he was when I met him, a lot of damage was already done. Another thing is transferring assets to children is better, or trust for them is better? Should I transfer now or later? So there are huge tax benefits of each option. How can I use lifetime capital gain exemption, which is close to $1 million? There are situations I have encountered with where client completely forgot about claiming those exemption. Maybe that he also needed a good accountant. So another question, what will happen to my partnership businesses upon disability or death of my partner? Will I have fund to buy his shares? So this is a very scary concern that you have your business or assets. Everybody these days, I will have my investments along with my friends, right? So whenever there is a partnership, there is a disability, and that's specifically in an active business, it's a scary concern. Then also for once you reach a certain level, there are some sophisticated investment options available. Do I have an access to it? Also, cash flow. Have I planned 2 years of cash flow before buying a new asset? As you might have already heard about this, many families are passing through hard times because of high interest rate, right? Imagine you didn't plan for cash flow and own 4 houses these days. Then there is a concept of lazy assets. So you need to analyze your assets. You will find assets that are neither produce any income nor growing in values. So we need to free these assets and let your money work for you. What types of assets are good at this stage of my life? Many people, they don't focus on their age and they just keep buying assets, right? Generally, after a certain age, you should only keep assets that you can manage with ease. Then retirement, how much retirement income will I need? You need to plan at least 15-20 years before you plan to retire. Where will my retirement income come from? My retirement income is reliable. Is it tax efficient? On an average, you need to understand this, that there are 20 to 25 years of our life, which will be as a retired life. Is it another thing? Is it important to keep control of business even after retirement? So when you transfer ownership to children, it is highly recommended to keep control with you at least for 5 years. It also relates to a business succession. Do I have a business succession plan? Do my children want to run my business? For example, your son, who is a doctor, he might not be interested in running your 4 hotels, right? So you need to have a business succession plan. How can I boost my balance sheet? Why are lenders not financing me easily? You know this. Every $2 you have as a capital, you can borrow $8. And then you can have a growth on $10, right? So your profile needs to be such that you don't get problem when you want to have a finance. How can I get mortgage easily when I already own 5 houses? So you might have already experienced this, some of you, very hard if you haven't planned for this. Also very important for wealth growth is to understand what are my family dynamics. Do I need to protect a particular member financially? Maybe a dependent parents or special child? Is my will updated? How can I save the probate tax? Are my assets in multiple jurisdictions? So if you have assets in India, US, you need to have a separate will. And you should update your will according to change in health. Now taxes. There are 2 types of taxes. One which you pay on an income or revenue you generate. In most of the cases, I have observed that there is already some kind of tax planning there. But the biggest taxes are on your assets. This will trigger when you sell assets or upon the death. This is a huge tax liability that reduces your wealth substantially. Now, very important thought for the wealthy family is to realize that they are creating multi-generational wealth. Big part of their wealth will be transferred to next generation. How to transfer wealth to next generation tax efficiently? How to provide for estate tax liability? So ideally, you should pass on your assets, not your liabilities. How can I be fair and divide assets to my children equally? Your son or daughter who is helping in your business should be compensated accordingly. Then protecting beneficiaries of the inheritance from their creditor spouse. A real life example. when a widow mother died, as per her will, daughter received all inheritance. This was a very bad timing for the daughter because her marriage was about to break down, right? So there was no control over death, but there is a control how you plan your inheritance, right? Should your beneficiary receive inheritance in lump sum, everything together, or a regular stream of income over years? So let's say your daughter or son who is in highest income tax rate, right? You did very good with your life. Your children are also very well financially, right? They are into highest income tax. They will appreciate if you plan that your inheritance is tax efficient for them. And then there are also children, right, who wants to live like a king. They just want to spend, right? It's not advisable to give everything together like a lottery jackpot and then they spend. So what is the role of a wealth manager? Simply putting, to address all of these concerns so that you don't have to think about this and create a path for you so that you achieve your wealth goal, also keep you motivated, provide you with the opportunities, and maybe warn you for financial risk too. And at very minimum, build a lifetime relationship with you and your family. Thank you everyone for your time. Now I hand over to Jigna for a wealth strategy.
Thank you, Dharmesh. Hello everyone. I'm going to show you a wealth strategy which is useful to most of the families. Let me ask you a question. ABC Bank generated 20% annual profit. How can a bank generate such a high profit? Please take a few moments to think about it. Question is, how can bank generate 20% profit? So most people believe that when we deposit money to checking account, bank does not pay any interest. But when bank lend us money, they charge 6 to 9% interest. That's how bank makes profit. But this way, bank will not generate 20% profit. I will show you how. When branch opens in morning, 8 a.m., Mr. A deposit $100,000 in his checking account, on which bank will pay him 0% interest. At 9 a.m., Mr. B takes car loan of $100,000. Bank will lend the $100,000 it just received from Mr. A and will charge 10% interest. At 10 a.m., Mr. Car dealer who sold the car to Mr. B deposit $100,000 to his checking account. Money has returned to bank now and bank pays 0% interest on it. At 11 a.m., Mr. C uses his line of credit for $100,000. Bank will lend the same money. This time, bank charge 8% interest. As you observed, bank made 18% with these 4 transactions. Bank used same $100,000 and rotated it. Now imagine if the bank has multiple transactions a day, rotates same money, how much profit it can generate. So the secret to grow wealth is money rotation. Now, how can we use this strategy to grow our wealth? Mr. Smith, who used $500,000 to buy asset XYZ. And this is a traditional approach, right? Now, please check the lower part of the slide where Mr. John uses money rotation. With his $500,000, he buys asset ABC. This is the asset class where lender lends close to $500,000 on asset ABC. Now, with this money, Mr. John buys asset XYZ, which he wanted to buy. Now, let's compare both. Mr. Smith will have a $500,000 asset, whereas Mr. John will have two assets worth $1 million. Mr. Smith has a growth on $500 asset, but Mr. John will have a growth on $1 million. In the eyes of bank, Mr. John is wealthy and more likely to get finance in future. Also, Mr. John is paying interest to lender, which might be tax deductible expense. With the use of money rotation, Mr. John boosted his balance sheet and wealth. There are many planning opportunities like this to rotate the money. Please contact us to know about this strategy or other strategy. That's about it. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you, guys.
So if you have any questions, please put it in the chat box. I see one question. Question is, what is the most passive income for retirement? Any ideas on passive income for retirement?
So,
Rental income.
so in terms of product, there are many options, but it's not always about product. It's about how you design it, right? There are some people who, let's say, if you have, and that's an interesting thing for everybody. Let's say if somebody has a $500,000, right, at the age of retirement at 65, and now you have to decide how you want to plan that investment so that you have a regular stream of
Income.
income. Now there are two ways to do it. One is to buy a certain product, like a passive product, the one you are requesting. That's one thing. But the second better idea, and because at 65 you don't want to take too much risk. You want to preserve your capital too, right? So there is a strategy there where, and we just used the money rotation concept, right? So it's not about the product and what kind of passive investment you have. It's about how you design it so that you can enhance your retirement income. It's a tax efficient so that after retirement, you don't lose any government benefits, right? So there are multiple aspects of this. So but there are many options. I hope I answered your question.
I see a lot of questions coming now. So second question, I have multiple investments in Canada, India. Can you help?
So in terms of investment, what kind of help you are seeking?
We have to check in which industry they have investment,
Also,
whether real
so
estate,
with
stocks.
us, it's not about product or investment. It's about having a proper planning first, so that those wealths, primary goal is to preserve your wealth,
Plus
and
growth.
then let it make money for you.
Yeah.
Right. So maybe contact us and we can discuss about this.
Perfect. So we will be sharing, you can see it on screen as well. And if you need to get in touch with Jigna ji or Dharmesh ji, please do let us know. We will forward your contact to them and we will make sure your questions get answered. Next question from C. Shah. How do you transfer wealth to children without having to pay tax?
So,
Great question.
great questions. So there are multiple ways you can achieve this objective, and it depends on case to case. And again, as I mentioned,
We have to see which industry
to-
they have asset,
we have-
which class asset they are holding, and what is their goal. They want to transfer lump sum or in installment. So there are so many aspects that we have to know before we can answer these questions specifically.
so there are two ways to do it. Either you provide a tax, so you provide inheritance and also you provide for funding. So when there is a death, there will be you can pay a tax too. Or there is a very tax efficient techniques where all your assets are transferred to trust, so that there are another 21 years of deferral there.
Yeah.
Or if your children are financially educated of a sound financial behavior, maybe a good time to have an estate freeze. So there are many options, and
Depends on how much assets do you own. I mean,
wealth planning really is whatever I can do. To be honest, that would be like 20-25%. Wealth planning mostly depends on the family.
yeah, and family dynamics.
Perfect. Next question. We have a question from Jyoti Maharana. Do you do IFA?
This is a very sophisticated strategy, not for everyone. So in case to case, as enhancing wealth, we do that.
Perfect. Another question. Can you help with diversified investment, especially from the real estate to another sector?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Real estate is also not bad.
Yeah, but
And I will give you an example. I mean, this is not a suggestion, right? So let's say everybody is not certain right now whether real estate will go further down or, and most of the wealthy people, they have as much as, in many cases, up to 50% of their asset, which is in liquid state right now. So they are waiting for opportunity. So while they are waiting, if they want to make money in real estate now, they should start looking for a second mortgages. So one way you are making a 13% interest, maybe for 1 year time. And if there is a default, you get that real estate at much discounted price. And right now, problem is not people are not qualified for a new mortgage or even for renewal in some cases. So they might have an equity as much as 50% in real estate, and they are not able to get the finance for it, right? So they are left with the either holding it some way or selling it, right? So there is a big opportunity within real estate too.
yeah, so this is just an example. We are not recommendation, because before recommending, we have to see whole picture of assets and your risk tolerance as well. This is just one example. It's not advice. Thank you. Next question.
Next question from Sashi. Can you please quickly repeat how in the example you gave, John got 1 million of 500K?
Oh, sure. Okay, so Mr. Smith and Mr. John both have 500,000, right? So Mr. John, what he does, he has this $500,000. He wanted to buy an asset XYZ, right? But then there are asset classes, right?
Certain
So let's say asset EBC. So Mr. John, with his 500,000, first buys asset ABC. And there are lenders who will give almost close to 500,000 and even 500,000 on those assets. and lend 500,000 back to Mr. John. So now with 500,000, which was a loan, Mr. John will buy asset XYZ. So now he, on balance sheet, he owns two assets,
What
500,000, 500,000, and liability of 500,000, right? So, and the most, depending on the asset, the taxes are tax deductible. For Mr. John,
interest?
he is having a multiple thing. First, instead of 500,000, he has his asset grown on 1 million, right? So his growth is multiplied. Second, there is a tax deductibility, right? Whenever you, if you recall time when we want to go for filing tax, right? All we thinking is what are the expenses that we are forgetting, right? We need more expenses
To claim.
right? So this is the time this strategy works. I hope you answer.
Next question, for the pension related work and retirement, what is a good plan that CPP is not good? So I guess they're asking any other plans besides CPP.
Yes, we have a very good retirement solution plan strategy. But today I wanted to show, present, but due to lack of time and it's gonna be too much. So maybe next event, or maybe the person who is looking for, they can contact us and we will go. We have a very good plan which defines the exact pension and years.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that question. Next, how can we transfer our principal residence to our son without any tax implications?
Okay. Principal residence is rolled over tax free. So besides being in Canada, you don't have to do anything.
Yeah, you don't need to pay tax when it goes to next generation if it is principal residence. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next question, do we adjust the financial plan or is it fixed? Meaning if there is different trends, can you help?
So it's for typical, the financial plan, what we create typically stays for at least for 5 years.
Yeah.
Because we already predict, right? Most important thing is how you have gathered your wealth so far, right? So we build upon it. We forecast a couple of your needs, your family circumstances, risk management. So typically for 5 years, it doesn't need, later on, maybe a little bit of tweaking.
Except there is some event, which unforeseen event where we have to again review and if required, make the changes. In
so we do annual review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Next question. I want to buy a business, $85 with $13 investment. Any ideas?
Which business? Like we have to see which product we, yeah.
$85 with $30.
It might be a K to the end. I think if you want to buy a business for $85 K with $13 K investment, any ideas? But I guess they can reach out to you if there's.
Yes, yeah, because it's very specific question.
So if it is a business under 500,000, then there is a very good financing program, and I can help you with that. So you can have even 90% of loan. Canada small business. You can also try with your bank too.
Next, what is the idea plan of education of kids, like university planning and cost?
Mostly people are worried about children's education when they have just started wealth accumulation, right? Maybe they have just started saving. And personally speaking, we are not an advocate of RESP or any children's education plan. We want you to have that money and grow with you, right? Small government grant, $7,000 of grant is not going to help you. Also, there is, as I mentioned, right, it's not about products. It's about whether it is working for you or no. So I'll give you an example. So let's say there are two parents. One parent, he has all the RESPs and all the education plan. And when his child starts university, he knows that, no, my father has saved this money and I'm good to go, right?
Yeah, so we have.
Versus other person who has done nothing about RESP, right? So that child will have a OSEC loan,
And then,
interest free for at least 4 years. So the same, there is no interest cost. Now, most important thing is the child which starts university education with this thought in mind that I will have a debt of $40,000 will put a lot of efforts, right? So as I mentioned, I'm not a good supporter of education plan.
And then later on, once your child finishes education, yes, you can write a check and pay off the loan because we don't want to have debt to our
Sure.
child if we have money.
Sure.
But this is just to make the child important of money as well as the education. And this is what we have experienced with our clients. So this is, we learned that this strategy should work better rather than having a RESP or saving plan for the child. Thank you. I hope I answered.
Next question. I have invested in 2 properties and now very much impacted due to variable rate mortgage. Is it something you recommend to me to manage my wealth? I have rental income, but still thinking if there is any option I should consider.
Can you repeat the last two lines?
I have rental income, but still thinking if there's any option I should consider.
Option consider regarding what? Another investment?
So I can repeat
Cash.
again. I have invested in 2 properties and now I'm very much impacted due to the variable rate mortgages.
Yeah.
Is there something you recommend to me to manage my wealth? I have rental income, but I'm still thinking if there is any option I should consider.
Yeah. So one of our principle is that you need to have a 2 years of cash flow, specifically for situation like this. So please reach out to us. This is a short-term problem. You don't have to be in panic, right? So for 1 year, 2 years, just to carry this period, there are ways to do it, right?
Yeah, and if you like, just for example, if I am in your situation, so if I'm planning, if I have any other saving plan, then maybe I will not worry about those plan right now, and will try to see if I can pay my mortgage and survive my cash flow. I mean, just maintain that.
Also, it is very good idea to go through to list down all your asset and check which asset is not working. I have found, even with the professional, right? I have found as big as 30% of their 30% of their assets are lazy assets. They are doing nothing, right?
Yeah, and still
so this might be a time you want to change asset class.
reshuffle. Yeah.
Dharmesh, can you please change the slide to your contact details? We don't want people missing out on that.
Sure.
Perfect. Okay, next question from Anilji. Is there any recent AMT update impact on HNW?
We don't have.
Sorry, I will have to get back on this.
Yeah, we have no idea. Sorry.
I have no idea.
Please send them an email. Email's right there. You can send
Sure.
them and they will
Sure.
answer that. Okay, this is back to the person that asked in regards to their business. This person, they want to buy a business for $85 million with a $18 million investment. Do you have any ideas? And it's a consumer profitable business that they want to invest in.
So at that kind of borrowing, you have many choices. Many choices. You can get even more money You don't have to even invest 18 million. But again, it depends on what kind of assets, what kind of business you are buying, what is your track record, what is your net worth, many factors. But at that level, it is difficult to buy first house, not the 10th house.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Next question. If we have two country status, including one is a Canadian citizenship, and if the person dies out of Canada, then does the insurance policy have a limitation of minimum residency requirements to get the claim to the dependent?
No.
Absolutely no.
Life insurance policy contract is a unilateral contract. You can cancel your life insurance policy, they cannot.
Yeah.
Meaning by once you buy a policy in Canada and when you move out of Canada, death occurs anywhere in the world, right? Your beneficiary will receive it as benefit. Only for first 2 years, there is no death benefit because of a suicide. Right?
If death is due to suicide,
We have helped a brother's family of our client, and so only documents which life insurance company needs is one, a death certificate, cremation certificate, and if something that is not natural, then maybe a little bit more, right?
yeah,
So as I was mentioning, we have helped a family where the death was because of a bomb blast. There was no proof of
in
death,
Pakistan,
right?
yeah.
So,
And we also help
but he got the family got the benefit.
as well as in India as well, right? One
Yeah.
client died in India. Sorry. Yeah. Thank you.
Next question from Achal Singhal-ji joining us from British Columbia. So thank you, Achal-ji, for joining. Can you give brief details of the retirement plan in Canada?
So retirement plan in Canada is like a CPP, or if you are employed somewhere, then maybe employee have a retirement plan. Otherwise, all plans are individually owned, right?
Yeah.
You finance your retirement, and there are many options and strategies available for it. It depends, as I mentioned earlier, it's not about products, it's about how you design it, right? Many people in early stage, they buy tons of RRSP and they don't even look after that RRSP where the statements are going. They are blocking those money and not gaining any growth, right? It might be a good idea to have that amount as a capital and grow money more efficiently.
But yes, we have, as I mentioned before, very good retirement plans, specific. You will see, like you can receive a $5,000 a month or 3,000, depend on your requirement. That's a retirement plan. And over and above CPP, if the income is in a lower level, then government give you old age security and GIS. But that is completely depend on how much annual income family makes.
Next question. Again from Achal-ji, how can we get RRSP and tax-free plans?
So you can have multiple choices. Depends on where you want to invest, because these are just asset class. But go to a bank, and they will open the
RRSP plan. Or maybe
RRSP and tax free.
Yeah.
You can also have a mutual fund, but
or maybe SEC fund.
or
We
SEC
do SEC
fund.
fund, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. I can
Next.
comment from just Shiji. It's only maximum $50,000 for a child, not a big investment that covers 100% child future education. No need of any loan or write a check by parents. Parents should not be discouraged taking RESP from the government. So that just a comment. Next, another question from Sashiji. Investing in US, being a Canadian, what will be the tax implications?
It depends on what is your tax resident status and how you have invested.
Yeah, and if it is a bigger asset, then whatever tax, if that occurs in states, then whatever tax you paid in states, some credits you will
So
receive.
this is not about, oh yeah, okay. No,
Yeah,
but again, it depends, right? There are ways you can do it.
yeah. Well, big, very big answer. So maybe 1-1, or they can reach us on email or phone anyway.
Okay, just a comment from Hadi Ad. Wonderful presentation so far.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anilji.
Anilji has, he's reverting to his old question. He means average minimum tax impact on high net worth. So that's the question.
So,
If it's
no, I understood that question, but this requires more information.
If it is CCPC, then for first 500,000 income, there are different tax. If it is not CCPC, passive income.
So his original question was regarding, is there any update, right?
Update? Oh no, sorry, I have not in my mind right now, but I can give you. Sorry.
Thank you so much, Anilji, for that question. Reach out to them. Our last question of the day. I have term policy for myself and my wife, both covering 1 million each. Should you recommend us to convert it to whole life? We both are healthy and in mid-40s.
So most important factor is a need, right? So life insurance products are purchased because of two primary reasons. One is a financial security for the family, and as an asset class, as a part of a estate planning tool. I have to get more information about you.
Your financial, how much you make and how much can you have.
But if you have already identified the need that you will need that coverage, then the sooner you do is better. Just only, I'm saying this by only looking one feature, and that is while you are younger, premiums are less.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just another one as well, just another comment. Very nice presentation. It's very informative based on case study from Darshanaji. So
thank you, Darshanaji.
Perfect. So I don't see any other questions. So just because the presentation is over doesn't mean you can stop with the questions. Jigna Ji and Dharmesh, their details are right below. Like all membership benefit event series webinars, this too shall be posted on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page as well. So please, if you feel like you want to remember something, please go back to this presentation and go back and seek any comments that they made. And if you want to reach out, get more information, please reach out. Their details are below. And if you want to get more, it will be great. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on this Friday evening, taking your precious time out and joining us. Canadian Hindu Chamber of Commerce is an organization to benefit Hindus all across Canada from different sorts of life, from different ethnic backgrounds. And we want to make sure that we can create economic unity among Hindus. And that will only be possible if everyone participates. So please continue engaging with Canadian Hindu Chamber of Commerce. Become a life member, become an annual member, or if you don't want to become a member, attend our events. They're free, they're for the benefit of the community, and we really appreciate everyone coming together. A big reminder, we have our annual Dhanteras Gala coming up on November 4th. I believe we can still accommodate some more people. So if you want to register, it's the chance. So please continue to stay connected with us, with the Canadian Hindu Chamber of Commerce. And once again, I want to thank everyone for joining. And we really want to thank Jigna Jani ji and Dharmesh Jani ji for giving their precious time, giving this presentation, answering questions, some great questions, some great comments. So we really appreciate everyone and hope everyone has a great weekend. Thank you so much, everyone. Namaste.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone, and thank you, Kuchagra ji, especially.
Thank you.
Thank you. And namaste.
Thank you, Naresh ji. Thank you, Marci ji.
Namaste.